especially you who had 3 points and above, I guess on your last year performance. Those who have BJCs and BGCSE, great rewards and great results. And of course, those who are prefects. Well, like I said, I don't know if they do it here, but in NASA, you know, everywhere you go, you see the bumper stickers that says, my child's on the honor roll, or my child's on. Well, I don't see many parents here except for Caden and Marcy, but maybe now they can go out and buy their bumper stickers and say, well, my child is, I think Katie Ann is probably the daughter, right?
Adriana.
Okay, but I always said that I was going to buy a bumper sticker also, because I'm a parent and I want to show that my child is doing something too. But the problem is, my child doesn't do much in school. So I said I will buy a bumper sticker that says, well, my child is not on the honor roll and he is not on the principal list, but he should be honored because he has principles. Now, the thing about it, sometimes we forget that having principles is just as important as having or being on the principal list. As a matter of fact, character still counts. And so as I speak today, I want to make sure that I don't only speak to academics, but I also speak to character. And so I have 3 stories I want to talk about, or 3 lessons I want to leave with you. And they're all lessons that I've learned here at this school. And they speak to the different people who are sitting. So my first lesson, of course, starts when I was 15 years old. And it was the first time I stood to speak to the student body standing over there. I was 16, and of course I was in grade 12, and I was doing this speech that was supposed to be for head girl. Now how it was then was that the teachers, I guess, chose who were going to be head boy and head girl. Well, they chose the top students. And then the students had to go out and campaign, and then the students vote. Well, of course, I figured I was okay. I was a pretty good student. So I did my speech, I practiced just a little, because I was okay. And I came up to speak. Well, I started to speak, and I don't know what happened. I must have came out from the lectern at some point, but I lost my way. And I couldn't figure out what to do. So I'm standing there, and I'm frozen, and I can't figure out the next thing to say. And so Mr. Humes, who was my principal, said, well, I don't know what he said, because he came in the back of me saying something. And that was clearly not what I had on my paper, so I didn't say that. So I stayed there, stuck, not sure what to do. And eventually, what I did was, I kind of leaned behind one of my friends, who was also on the stage, and cried. Now, what do you think the students did when I cried? Of course, you know how you all go ahead. Okay. So, of course, they laughed at me, and they said I was crying for votes. And, of course, I didn't get head girl. I became a senior prefect. But senior prefect don't sound so bad if you don't know the full story. So I took it. But the lesson that I learned, not on that day, but the lesson that I could carry from that situation, was that we should always do our best. And even if we're not on top, at least we would never have to hide behind someone. Right? So even if you are not up here today, even if things didn't go, you got a C or you got a D or whatever, if that is truly your best, then you don't have to hide behind anyone. Because you've done all you can do. And that's important. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. Now, one of the things I learned a year before that, I was in grade 11, was something that I'm sure you don't have an issue with today. In grade 11, I came first in my class. It was the first of many things that year, actually. It was the first time I had a 3-point, and the only time actually in high school I had a 3-point. It was the first time I was going to see my father, because I went to the U.S. first time, traveling alone, and my father was in prison. So I went to the U.S. to see my father that year. And of course, it was the first time I had this 3-point. But I was not happy for whatever reason. I had this view that I wasn't that smart. Of course, I figured that the reason I got the 3-point was maybe these kids just were dumber than I was in my class. I wasn't that smart, I was just lucky. And so while they talked about who got what GPA and who did what, which position each person got, I stayed quiet because I didn't want them to know. Now, by anybody's account, this was a good achievement. As a matter of fact, I have my report card from that year. Just so you see. So this is a great achievement. But, yeah, you could come and prove it. 11-1, see? So, but I wasn't happy. I didn't see my success. The people always say that you shouldn't worry about what other people think about you. And that's not important, and they're right. What other people think about you is not important. What's most important is what you think about yourself. And for whatever reason, I didn't think that I was all of that. I didn't think much of myself. And as a result, a lot of things happened. That lesson I learned then was celebrate. Celebration is important because when we celebrate, we become more confident. And when we become more confident, we increase the opportunity and the likelihood of having more success. And that's important. So for you who have achieved now, make sure that you celebrate. This is a good opportunity. Don't hide behind anyone. Don't say, oh, you know what, it wasn't that big a deal. It's a big deal because you're here. And even you down here, you might have gotten your seat, like I said, or whatever it is. If that is the best you've done, then celebrate that. Because as you celebrate, you become better and you do more. And let me tell you what happens when we don't celebrate. When we don't celebrate and we don't believe that we're doing our best, life takes over us. And life beats us down. And that is what happened to me in grade 12. Now, how many teachers are here who were here in grade 12? Raise your hands. So they know the story, but see, they don't know the story behind the story. So now they're listening for the story. Well, in grade 12, I was a couple months away from graduation. And I was taking my BGCSEs. And of course, I wasn't feeling so well that day. I was having a lot of things going on in my life, and I really wasn't up to it. So I asked my principal if I can take the exam on another day, and this is BGCSEs, of course not. So he said he couldn't do it on another day. And because he couldn't do it, I sat there. This is my food nutrition. You heard them say that I was big on food nutrition. So this is my food nutrition planning exam. It was a Friday evening. Bam. No, that's all right. Okay, so it was a Friday evening, and I sat there. I thought it was for a minute. But when the bell went off, I realized that it was like 2 hours. And I was just sitting there. And so in my head, I was thinking, oh wow, I'm now gonna fail. I'm not going to college. I'm not gonna have a good job. I'm all these things. I'm gonna have to stay with Mama for the rest of my life. You know? And so I was really, really upset. And so I left school, I went home, and I attempted suicide. As a matter of fact, I took a bunch of tablets and overdosed, and well, I'm still here, so I didn't die. Went on the emergency flight to Nassau, stayed for a few days, and then came back. Now, what do you think the students did then? Of course, because that's what you do. So you had students who were teasing, who were laughing, and of course it's difficult when you go through a rough time and you don't have anybody there. But that's not the lesson here. The lesson here is that at the end of the day, as much as you think things are really bad, things are never as bad as we think it is. Yes, that same exam that I was so worried about, I got a B in BGCSE for. Okay? As a matter of fact, I had and I don't want you to think I'm not a student, because I only got 3 BGCSEs with C and above, okay? 3 BGCSEs with C and above, but apparently we're counting D's now, so apparently I had 6 BGCSEs. The thing about it, even though things are not as bad as we think that they are, when we make certain decisions, it means that we make life harder in the future. So the decision that you make today can create an issue for you tomorrow. Because I made some decisions thinking that life was so hard, I had to do some things when I came out of school. So I spent 2.5 years trying to get into COB. But I'll tell you what, when I got into COB, I stayed there 4 years, and not once did I get a GPA lower than 3 points. Not only that, a few years later I went to, well, quite a few years later, I went to India, and I was the top student. I got the top student award out of 43 countries. Top student award. But I'm no different from anybody here. I mean, did I get smarter? Did I get luckier? Did things change much from me of who I am? Now, most people would say that I've changed, and they tell you, oh, I've become this nice girl. That's what they say. But the truth is, I'm the same person I've always been. And you, one of the things that people have not told you, and they probably, a lot of persons didn't tell me, is that who you are now and who you can be is in you right now. The only difference between you and you is the fact that the persons who are being awarded today are utilizing their potential. That's the only difference. So, how many of you do physics? You know, physics is one of my favorite classes. You know, potential energy and what's the other moving energy? Oh, okay, these smart kids here. Okay, so I'm saying, you know, they have their vague potential energy, but of course you can start moving too with your kinetic energy. And so my point is, you have what it takes. At the end of the day, no matter what happens, no matter what people say, you have all that you need to succeed. You may not believe me, but while you all can be head boy or head girl, you all can be leaders. While you all may not be the top of the class, you all can be achievers. Your success is not connected to anybody else's here. How well you're going to do in life has nothing to do with whoever else is sitting next to you. And that's important to know. So, while I'm talking, of course, you may be thinking, hey, I'm a pretty good student. And I thought, like I said, I was a pretty good student too. But the pretty good student, of course, you can continue to be the pretty good student. I don't know if you know the poem, but there's this poem about a pretty good student. And basically, it's a pretty good student who sit in that pretty good class. And I guess they allow, with that pretty good teacher, who let pretty good pass. And if you decided you're going to stay or remain that pretty good student, what you'll find is that pretty good student, in fact, was a part of a pretty good mob. And at the end of the day, when he learned what he lacked was when he was looking for a pretty good job. It was then that he realized that he didn't have what life could be tough. And someone had this sneaking suspicion that pretty good was definitely not enough. So what I would say to you is definitely do not settle. No matter what people are saying now, no matter how it's saying now, no matter what's going on in your communities, in your household, things I know. I'm one of those people, so I know that a lot of things can be going on in the night that nobody knows about. I know that a lot of things may be going on in their communities that nobody knows about. But I'll tell you, like I said, things get better. But unless you decide that you're going to do better, that life is going to be better no matter what, then you're going to continue this being pretty good, and it's not going to cut it. So make sure you climb higher to excellence and celebrate wherever you are. Thank you.